Welcome back to DataBytez. It is Patrick again, and today we are covering the topic of relationships. Don't let your bonds destroy you. Stop emotions from overwhelming reality. Now, relationships are important. They're very important. And we all, want to have valuable relationships. But the thing is, sometimes our relationship clouds us. Our desire for them clouds us. And that's kind of what we're going to be touching upon in this video. So let's move on to our next slide here. Relationships are important. You need them. Easy parts to understand. Relationships make life better. Friends make life better. Having loved ones makes life better. Often our success is a byproduct of the relationships we cultivate. I'm sure you've been aware of the fact that it's not, or you've heard the saying, it's not about what you do, it's who you know. And finally, we are social creatures. We will go insane in isolation. This is a thing. We are biologically inclined to work with each other. Isolation will often make us go crazy, which is why in prison, which you already think, prison is already a punishment in itself. No, people will, the punishment when you do things wrong in prison is isolation. You get sent to be in solitary confinement. And sometimes those lengths of time by yourself can go a very long time, up to about, I believe I've heard things from like a year and a half, 2. And that tends to go two ways, where either someone, and it kind of strays a little bit from the topic of this video, but isolation can be good in the sense that it can make you very self-reflective. It can make you very focused on about the things that matter to you. So sometimes people go in isolation and end up having a transformational experience because they're no longer distracted by the externals. They're forced to face themselves. But more often than not, people will take their shit and smear it all over the walls and go absolutely insane and end up more often than not broken. So we will go insane in isolation. That is more often than not what happens. It takes a certain fortitude to handle isolation. And again, relationships make life great. However, while relationships are great, the wrong relationships can destroy your life. Because some people only bring negativity and problems. Envy is real. People will get close to you just to harm you, especially as you become more successful. And there is an infectious element, and some people are like poison, which there's a certain permeability of our emotions. So if you're around people that are constantly negative, and you will inevitably end up negative. Hardship will find you. And so we're left with this quandary, right? We're left with this problem where we want to have relationships, but we also need to be aware we don't make the wrong ones, because the deleterious effects can come. The problem of having a bad relationship is far more painful than you could possibly imagine. That is one of the most important relationships we ever have, is who we choose to be our spouse, our partner. And I believe the social fabric is keenly aware that if you make the wrong choice in who you choose to go through life with, you can pay a hefty penalty. And so we have 3 problems here when it comes to relationships. We are incapable of truly understanding others. And the other part of this is that we operate on a surface level, but rarely are things as they seem. And we allow our desire to override our objectivity. And let me explain these 3 points with 3, I believe, fairly salient examples here. So the first 2, we are incapable of understanding others, and we operate on a surface level. Rarely are things as they seem. It doesn't matter how long you've known someone. I don't care if they've been your childhood friends. You have no way of understanding their thought process. Sure, you might be like, oh, I believe they'll like this, but at the core of their innermost thoughts, you don't understand. You aren't with them 24/7. Even people, twins that are grown up together, have two different interpretations of the world, two different interpretations of events. Do not delude yourself into thinking you truly understand someone else. And the other issue is that even when we come across people, and you might think they have good intentions at heart, because they might smile and they might seem really nice, and they say, hey, how you doing? Are you doing great? You know, and they want to know you, they want to talk to you. You're like, this person seems like a nice person. They could have horrible intentions, not to stir up the belief that everyone's out to get you. No. That's not the kind of scare I'm trying to hear. I'm just trying to point out that you don't know. You don't know. Don't jump to immediate conclusions, right? And our desire to override objectivity. I knew a guy. No, I didn't know him. I actually had a friend who tells me about him. That they're in a relationship. It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. Where they're going into debt to support someone else. They are working. They're working Uber, plus a main job, plus another job to help them get on their feet. Because something about this relationship they want to keep. I don't know what it is. They don't know what it is. Of course, there are all kinds of rationalizations of being, hey, like, oh, you know, they need me. I need to help them. I love them. But from everyone else's perspective, it's like, you're being sapped away. You're giving up your hobbies. You're maxing out all your credit cards to let them survive. And at some point, enough is enough, right? But they can't see it. They can't. They're unable to see it because their desire for that relationship, for whatever those nuggets of positivity that that relationship brings to them, is willing to override everything else, to overlook everything else that is going on. And it's sad. It's sad. And so that these are the three problems that we operate on, and they manifest themselves very often. You might know someone who's in a relationship right now that, often in the romantic sense, right, that they should walk away. That person is not good for them, but they can't. They can't. And so, to avoid ending up in that position yourself, what do we do? Well, we have some guidance. In this case, coming from Seneca. Once more, if you've seen a couple other videos, especially the 5 posits, this name should be familiar at this point. When friendship is settled, you must trust. Before friendship is formed, you must pass judgment. Now, what does that mean? How to pass judgment? You must ignore words and observe actions. It doesn't matter what people can say, anything. What do they do? Do they do what they say? Do they stand by what they say? Like, the actual things that they do matters much more than what they say. What about the reactions when you share good news? A sign of an envious person is that when you share good news with them, they get a little bit of a scowl on their face. They have a look about them like, oh, how dare you succeed? How dare anything good happen to you? I hate your guts. And that moment just flashes by. The look on their face just flashes, and then it comes back to smile. It's like, oh, how great for you. 3, how would you characterize the relationship dynamic? Is it one-sided or reciprocal? Do you find yourself doing everything for them? How much do they actually do for you? And now, I don't mean that relationship should be transactional, meaning you should be keeping tit for tat on what you guys do for each other. But it's more like, how giving is their soul? If you end up giving so much and all they do is take with giving nothing back ever, that's a bad sign. And finally, do they challenge you to be better? Do they promote good qualities in you? Do they want to see you be more than you are? Or do they pull you down? One of the most common things that I've seen when people fail this particular one is that they like, let's go out to get drinks. It's always, let's go out to get drinks, let's go get faded, let's go get something. It's something where pleasure is involved. And it's not to say that pleasure is a bad thing. I'm not saying not everyone shouldn't drink. No, that's ridiculous. But when that's the only thing that brings people together, that is not a good friendship. If that's the only thing that unites you is this dynamic, oh, we're gonna go get messed up or something. And some people I've come across that are exactly like that. That just like, it's either games, drinking, hanging out, something like that. It's never anything constructive. Like, hey, what are you trying to achieve? Hey, I heard something about something that you're working on. I think you like this. I think this is relevant for you. Or even it's like, hey, you're going through a problem, right? Have you ever considered reframing that problem and let's work through it together? Sometimes that if that's all those elements are missing, then chances are that is a relationship that isn't effective. And so passing judgment first before you have friendship is very important. You need to be very critical about who you allow truly into your life that has access to you, because you do not want to form a bad relationship. You do not want their negativity to infect you. Again, the infectious nature of people. If they're lazy, chances are that laziness is going to rub off on you. Another common thing that has probably made it to your ears is that you're the average of 3 to 5 people you hang around the most. So whoever you choose to hang out with, again, for friendship, be friendly with everyone. Be respectful, be cordial. You should always strive to be nice to everyone. But who you allow into your life to form a relationship, a true friendship, a true relationship, a true bond with, it should be very selective. It's very important. It's that much of an important thing about who you choose. But the thing is, Seneca's guidance is incomplete. And the reason it is incomplete is because he says, or in his words, once friendship is formed, you should trust. And what is that, in perpetuity? Right? Is that forever? Once you've decided this person is my friend, that's it. It's done. It's over. No. It's not. And so we look for a word from H.L. Mencken, also known as the Sage of Baltimore. One of the most mawkish of human delusions is the notion that friendship be lifelong. The fact is that a man of resilient mind outwears his friendships just as certainly as he outwears his love affairs and his politics. They become threadbare, and every act and attitude that they involve becomes an act of hypocrisy. A prudent man, remembering that his life is short, examines his friendships critically now and then. A few he retains, but the majority he tries to forget. Now, sometimes life makes us cut off some of our friendships. Traditionally, like as you move from high school to college and from college to the work world, just geographic distance and different time schedules will naturally cause friendships to die. We don't have any problems usually with that. We don't really there's that part is not usually an issue. It's an issue when there are some times that people have grown far apart and people just refuse to let it go. They just refuse to let it go. Similar to like my friend's friend, where it's like the reality is there that this is a relationship that should not exist, that they are just draining them of sources of life, of money, of life, of time, but they can't leave. And it's not what you should do with the short amount of time that you have to be so mild or so I think that's not the right word. It's I would say to drown yourself in problems that are better off discarded. And so that brings us to our next point, facing reality. Don't force life into relationships. And often we can sense it. And we might deny ourselves that feeling that something is dying. And it's better not to force life. Now, this can be taken out of context, because sometimes we do have to fight for our relationships in terms of, I think it's just being with someone romantically for a long time. You have to, like, invest in it. You have to try to keep the relationship exciting, to keep love alive. But there is a feeling, and for those of you who have gone through it, you'll understand that you can feel the death imminent, and you might want to fight to cling to it. You might want to fight to make it exist, but don't. Just accept the feeling that and face reality. The second part is, do not confuse the length of a relationship with its quality. Sometimes the people that will change your life for the better come into your life at a random time. And they will be your greatest friend, they're your greatest partner, and over someone that you've known a long time that really went a different way. So it's important to not confound length with quality, because sometimes the person who we have been friends with for the longest time is actually the one doing us the most harm, introducing us to vices, introducing us to negative things. And finally, and this is the most important point, don't be afraid to walk away. It hurts. It hurts to walk away. It hurts to break things off. It feels like a part of your life is gone, especially when you may have had years together. And it can be a very horrible thing. But when things aren't working, when you see that it's not good in every objective sense, you cannot be afraid to walk away. This goes in all sorts of facts of relationship, business relationships, romantic relationships, friendships. You just need to walk. It'll be hard, but you have to keep repeating to yourself over and over again, this is not good. Don't delude yourself with the moments that are good. Don't delude yourself with the beads of hope that you could think there might be a change. No. Stop. That is delusion talking. That is absolute delusion talking, because the objective fact is that it's not good, and you're just hopeful, and you want things to change. That's that desire coming in. Or sometimes you'll be like, well, they need to be the ones to do it first. No, you need to do it. You need to take charge and walk away. And this aspect, this being able to walk away, will repeat itself again, because it has so many things. It intersects with so many things, from business to business success. Being able to walk away from a deal, thinking, oh my God, this deal is so great. It's good. I can't afford to. No, walk away if it doesn't work. Don't try to make it work. These principles repeat again, and you will see that as we go through different topics. But that brings us to a close on our discussion of relationships. Don't let them destroy you. Don't delude yourself. Remember, a prudent man tries to retain a few, and you'll have a few really quality relationships that you'll treasure, but the most of them are worth forgetting. They're not relevant. So join me on the next one. Stay data driven. And this is Patrick. Have a good one. Bye.